Your staff really are the key. How they promote, how they talk is really big. They've got to be into it or they're going to sink.
DEKA is most successful when it's integrated in and basically made into the culture of your gym. Everything you do, all your classes every day, it's all about DEKA. The experience is all about DEKA. And the key to that is when you make it a part of your culture, it then gets your members involved. It gets them excited and it activates them to sell your event.
First timers that are coming in or people that are coming in that aren't members to your gym, those are super warm leads.
You're the CEO of this brand. I mean, we have hundreds of Spartan CEOs, Spartan DEKA CEOs across the country and the world, and you're bolting on this brand. You are the reason Spartan comes to town.
That's right. Yeah. Ricardo's rules of resilience. Tune in, people. Every episode is impactful. You become more burly just by listening. Let's go.
We're so blessed to have the careers that we have, and I love that we have an opportunity to, we kind of get to be masterminds now. We've all, between us, gosh dang, we've coached tons of classes, and, when I'll do a mastermind call sometimes where there's 4 coaches and the gym owner there, and you see the gym owner, it's like, you can tell that's how they did it, and they got fired up, and they're like, I got to start my own gym, and it's hard to find those people, but if that's not quite you right now, just keep saying yes to coaching that class, because it gets easier and easier. You get a little more gumption. You get a little more fire. And it's like, man, I had fun. I did jump up on the plow box today, and I did shout it from the rooftops. And I was talking to people about how proud I was. And that physical contact, man, it may just be that person that's only comfortable with a high five. I've never had somebody get upset with me. And you get to know your people. Like, reach way out there and give that hand touch. You could do that a million times, and you're not going to find anybody upset with you. Some you'll get to where you hug them and you all that stuff, but just have some type of physical contact and at least say a couple words to every single person in class.
So I hope everybody can hear the difference when we talk about graciously telling people exactly what they're going to do in regards to your event. There's a difference between a coach at the beginning of the class saying, or at the end of class saying, hey guys, we have an event coming up. It's it's on the, here's a QR code on the wall. Don't forget to sign up. There's a difference between that and what you just heard Yancy do. That's the point that we're trying to get across here, because I don't know how many times I've heard the former. And it's, coaches, the gym owner tells the coach, remember to promote the event before and after class, and that's how it's done, as opposed to, no, this is what we're doing. And it's not even like this is what you're doing. This is what we are doing. We are doing this event and making it a collective. Like, it's kind of a shift in how you think about it, how you express it, but it affects people in a completely different way. They hear it differently. They feel it differently.
That's right. You got it. So important. Your staff really are the key. And they're not, how they promote, how they talk is really big. They've got to be into it or they're going to sink. And also, don't feel like you have to stop with just getting your staff on your team. Hopefully, as a business, you own, or again, if you're just listening to this and not even talking about a fitness event, an event for your church or your community organization, a fundraiser you're doing, a grand opening you're doing, get out into the community. You like the place you live. You've probably lived there for more than a few months. You know some people and you want to see it thrive and you want to see it better. So get out there and connect with people who are influencers, especially right around you. Your plaza where your building is, right? The 500-meter circle around you. Everybody needs to know your name, and hopefully you're over there, whatever, getting your nails done, getting your hair cut, buying hamburgers from, whatever is around you, you need to build that relationship. Hopefully you've already gone there and offered them, a 2 week or a month free pass. If you haven't, get out there and use DEKA to do that. Go over and offer for them to come and race at a discounted price for you. Come and race even as your guest that day. I've done that with many people around, people that I know are influential. Hey, come be my guest. I'd really like you to try this. It's going to be a fun event. We're going to have a food truck there and a DJ. You're gonna, this isn't just for fitness maniacs. Come and try this out. So, and you can do some neat things with local businesses. One of my favorite Aussies, that spunky little Aussie that Yancy and I both know, Rachel over there for Anytime Fitness in Fort Wayne. She went to all the businesses in her plaza and got them to make donations. And she had a giant wheel there that everybody who was participating that day could spin the wheel. And they could get a free this or a discounted that, depending. And it was all promoting the businesses around her. Same thing with Ruck. You can get out there with Ruck and contact police and fire departments, military organizations, Ruck clubs, and tell them, hey, we got a chance for you to try something besides just running with the Ruck. We're going to have you getting over boxes and everything else. And you can even go to your people that are higher up in organizations, the wellness directors, your HR directors, and say, hey, we've got something for your people. We'd like your people to come and try this. And hopefully you're already a part of things like your local chamber of commerce or, business breakfasts that happen. And you don't be shy. Don't feel like this is something you can only offer to your gym members. Have everybody. We're throwing a party. We want you to come try it out. And back to the teams thing, Alton said it can be 99%. I've used a version of that so many times. People say, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I'll tell you what, I'll split it with you. I'll tell you what, I'll do 9 of the 10 stations. You just come and do one station, I'll do the rest. And invite them to your party.
When you look at a DECA event at your gym, um, it's not just a thing you're doing on a Saturday. DECA is most successful when it's integrated in and basically made into the culture of your gym. Everything you do, all your classes every day, it's all about DECA. The experience is all about DECA. And the key to that is when you make it a part of your culture, it then gets your members involved. It gets them excited and it activates them to sell your event. And a way I like to phrase this is evangelize your community. Turn them into evangelists for the brand. Preach. So
Preach.
when they get excited, then they're going to be telling their friends about it. They're going to be telling their family members about it. They're going to want to bring in, their brother or sister and team up with them in a teams race. That's something, I've experienced that on the Spartan side. I've been a Spartan racer for over a decade, and I've got my brother and my sister now doing stadium races with me. It took me a little bit of time, but they listened to me long enough. They finally took the bait and now they have started doing these races with me. That can happen with DECA. So, as Yancy said, empower them to put on their coaching hats. And this really, it starts with your most engaged members and coaches, but it starts with those who are already excited. The first ones to sign up for your event when you put it on the calendar, those are the ones that become your brand evangelists. And you really want to empower them to then reach out to their friends, their family, their coworkers, bring in their mom or their dad or their grandfather, and have that really special experience with them on the race course. A lot of your members work places, and those places might be great businesses for them to go to and say, hey, do you have any prizes we can give away? Do you want to have a booth at our event? And so they can do that. And then at the same time, any business contacts that would be willing to donate some prizes, you could use that to incentivize your members to bring in more people. I think Ricardo, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but if you could collect some giveaway items or have giveaway items, you can gamify this whole thing for your members. You can make it a challenge, and get them excited. Everybody loves a challenge. Everybody loves to compete, especially those most active members that are the first to sign up for your events. They're already competitors. They want to compete for something. Give them something to compete for and help them sell your event. And when members bring in first timers,
Yeah.
that should be a big deal for the member that brings in the first timer and the first timer who shows up. Maybe you have something you can give to that first timer as a first timer gift. You want to help them just have, they might be a little bit intimidated, that person that your member is bringing in. They might be scared to do this. More than likely, they're a little bit nervous. So you want to do what you can to make sure that they have such a great time at your event that they want to keep coming back, because you want to convert that first timer into an evangelist for your brand. It
That's
can
right.
happen one person at a time, but your members can help you sell. You are not on your own. It's not just you trying to get your coaches to do, but you've got those excited members. You know who they are, and when they get in, when they become brand evangelists and bring in people, and those people see what an amazing experience and what amazing special community DEKA is, your brand evangelists will grow, and you will have more people selling your events for you.
And you might
Definitely.
have more members at your gym.
And you might have more members at your gym. And that's really the big goal here, right? It's not just selling tickets for your gym, but bringing in new leads that become recurring monthly memberships.
That's right.
Yeah, to add on to that, those first timers that are coming in or people that are coming in that aren't members to your gym, those are super warm leads. They're getting exposed to your gym, to the culture, to the environment of it, and they're getting exposed to your coaches, to you, everything about that. So those are great people to follow up with. I've seen a lot of success with converting those into members, which is more recurring revenue for your gym.
What I've mentioned many times in the calls that Yancy and I have done with gym owners, ahead of their events, is these are the words that I always said. Anytime that someone comes into your event and either they don't go to a gym, they don't belong to a gym, or they are a first timer, your job is to make sure they have the best day ever at your event. They got to have the best day ever. And that could look a lot of ways. You could give them a coupon for a free week of classes. You could personally give them a tour of the facility. You can give them a first timer gift. But you want them to feel so welcome and so at home, and that they come out of that. And then the community and the vibe of the DEKA event does that for you a little bit, because anyone who's been to a DEKA event knows what that feels like, but that first
That's
timer
right.
doesn't. So help them have the best day ever at your event. And then guess what? They'll be back, and they may even join your gym, and they will likely help you sell your next event.
That's right. Reward their courage for trying something new, because they came to a strange place with strange people, and and they had the courage to come and do that and do something brand new. So yes, absolutely, you're gonna reward them for having the courage to do all that. So you guys have heard us saying it top to bottom, and we're just gonna drive this home for you a little bit. Listen, your event is not an add-on. It's not, as Robin says, something we're doing on a Saturday. It's something we're talking about all the time. This is our program. DEKA is not something we add on. It's who we are. It's what we do. We test our fitness every 12 weeks or however often you do this. This is part of your program. Too often the announcement is not even as strong as you said, Robin. It's more like, yeah, there's a DEKA coming up if you're into that, just kind of like they're throwing a piece of candy into the wind or something, see who picks it up. But we did this a lot, and Alton, you had some success talking people who were scared to death of DEKA into trying it out. Talk about what you did as a coach there.
As a coach, I would always make the announcement like we talked about, but I would always make sure before and after class that I was talking to members leading up to the event specifically about DEKA. Are you getting signed up? And if not, why not? Like, this is a part of the program. This is what we do here. We're testing our fitness, seeing how we're getting better. You're working out. You don't want to just work out to work out, right? We need to be seeing progress. And that's what DEKA is. It's our performance tracking for that to see you're getting in better shape. It's giving you tangible results that are going to help you work harder towards those goals. And if you're not getting better, it shows you what areas you need to focus on to improve for those results. And so one of the examples that comes to mind was an older lady who went to the gym, and she was a little intimidated about doing DEKA, but I continued to just kind of talk through that, like, this is what we do here. We do DEKAs. It's a great tool for you. You're able to do it. Like, you do the workouts. We put DEKA stations into the workouts, so I know you can do it. And she eventually did it, and she loved it from there. And then you couldn't stop her. She kept doing events, and she eventually competed at World Championships and is still competing to this day.
Yeah, that's just it. We're talking about it all the time. You know, if we have a box, anything to do with the box in our workout, we were saying, and this is going to get you ready for DEKA that's coming up in 4 weeks, because we know we're all doing DEKA, you know, or if we were doing a weighted sit up, this is going to help us be ready for our DEKA that we're all doing in 6 weeks. You know, we're talking about it all the time. And, you know, people understand this is who we are. This is what we do. And, you know, obviously that takes every coach buying into it. You have to set yourself on fire. Your coaches have to be on fire and looking for those opportunities, because you don't know whose life you're going to change. I think the lady you're referring to was 62 at the time, had never participated in an organized sport in her life. And she ended up, as you said, participating in world championships, and I think in 4, what'd you say, 5 different, you just don't know whose life you're going to change by having the courage to say, hey, come be a part of this.
Everybody talks about your event all the time, and that's everyone. But it's not just talk. Everyone talks about your event all the time. But it's more than just talking about your event, but like constantly showing them why. So when we talk about constantly showing them why, in your class, so obviously making announcements before, during, after, during the class when you're doing movements, talking about how that supports them, how that's going to make them better at the event, how that's a movement they're actually going to do. And in this class, we're improving so that you're going to be really awesome at it during the event. Talking about how every event at this event and any event at your gym is a world championship qualifier, because there are going to be some people, not everybody might be caring about that just yet, but some people will. And they need to know, because they may not know, that yes, this is a world championship qualifier event. Give them and they get to do that at their home gym with their home coaches, fully supported. So it's not just about telling them, which you do need to tell them over and over and over again. This is me going back to my marketing side. There's a reason why you get a lot of emails about something. It's the reason why, because one touch point is never enough. Yet people have to hear it over and over and over again, to the point that's like, again, this is our culture. This isn't just an event we're holding, but DEKA is our culture. We live and breathe it in everything we do here. And they need to experience that. When they get used to that, and when they hear about it all the time, then their brain is going to remember, oh, today is the day I'm going to sign up for this. Or they're going to hear that one thing that actually really resonates with that person, and every single person is different. So that's what we mean by everybody talks about your event all the time. It's not just an announcement, but it's integrated into the entire hour, or whatever amount of time they are spending with that coach that day.
Love that.
In the triangle, right there on the table in the goal setting room. So if we were reviewing goals, or if we were setting goals for the first time, hey, wouldn't you like to earn one of these? You know, of course you want to lose so much fat and so much inches, and those are good things. I want you to as well. How about we add a performance goal in there? Because sooner or later that weight loss will slow down, or you'll get there, and then what are you going to do? So what do you say we try to do something really challenging and earn your trifecta? Let's make that part of your goals, and it's just part of the culture. This is what we do. Hey, we're going to DEKA Fit this weekend, and I think to one of them we took almost 30 people, because this is what we're doing. This is who we are. The last thing I want to tell you guys is make DEKA part of a challenge. We know challenges work for fitness members, people who care enough about their body. They love checking that box. They love to attain, achieve, accomplish, and to compete. And so if you can make DEKA part of a bigger challenge, you can see good things happen. Yancy, you've seen the power of this, haven't you?
I tell people all the time, don't ever forget that you're the CEO of this brand. I mean, we have hundreds of Spartan DEKA CEOs across the country and the world, and you're bolting on this brand. You are the reason Spartan comes to town whenever you want to bring Spartan to town. For every mud and barbed wire event, or Tough Mudder event, or Spartan Trail event that takes place, or every DEKA Fit event that takes place, there are 10, 20 gym events taking place for that one event. It's the only time I have ever seen a gym fail, the only time they fail, a couple key things. They don't host events.
Yeah.
So there's literally no event. They don't talk about their event. If I'm interviewing the coaches and trainers, they're simply, the event's been stood up for a while, and they haven't been telling their people about the opportunity to test your fitness and being really intentional on why we want you to test your fitness, and be repetitious over and over and over again. Pepper them every day graciously. So there's these very specific things. Just simply getting the first event on the calendar and having a pretty good successful event, you are well on your way to having so much success. There are very, very simple but very specific reasons. I'll call out a couple gyms. One of my favorite to call out is Jessie and Farm Girl. She has one line of business. She's sold out every event she's ever had. And others. My friends Chewy and Pete down in Bodify in Texas, down in Laredo, every single event, 100, 150 plus people. All of your events, Ricardo, they're not pulling off some magic trick. They're very consistent with a handful of things that we've covered here, and they do it over and over and over again. And you don't have to be a great salesman. Just be genuine.
Yeah.
Talk to your people about the power of celebrating fitness together, the power of periodically testing your fitness, and you're going to have success with this.
Yes, you definitely will. I tell you, you talked about some of our bigger events, and after a few years, we didn't get under 100. After, I think, once we broke 100, we never went under 100 again. By the end, 120 was a small event for us. And the big ones we had two that were in the 190s. We had a 190 and a 195, and those were tied to 6-week challenges. And I even offer that to facilities, like, hey, here's a little sample of what I did. Get your people competing for one another, get a virtual points, bring other members with you. They get points for bringing members to your DEKA class. They get points for racing with non-members. Turn it into a competition. Alton was there with me. We had 65 and 70-year-old women racing 4 times in a weekend because they wanted to win that 6-week challenge, and they were getting points for every time they raced. So get creative, make it your own, and have a great time. Any other parting words?
There's one more thing that I think we might have briefly touched on. I just want to hammer it home a little more. I'm always surprised when I'm talking to a gym owner or a general manager or a fitness director, and I ask them, Have you gone out in town and talked to all the businesses that are real close proximity to you? Have you knocked on that door and talked to the CEO or the general manager about, or maybe the HR director about, "Hey, do you guys have a fitness program? Would you? We'd love to have your people. We're hosting a Spartan race, a Spartan DEKA race, of an event at our gym, just a half mile down the road. We'd love to have your people come down and celebrate fitness with us." What's the absolute worst thing that could happen to you if you have that conversation? They say no. That's the worst thing that could happen. But more times than not, gym owners, before DEKA was even around, they hadn't had those conversations. So get out there, talk to them about your gym, and talk to them about the opportunity to do a Spartan race. We're going to have the shirts and the medals and the finish line and the leaderboards, and it's for your competitive types. Maybe you got a couple competitive employees. It's a world championship qualifier. So have those conversations. I promise you, at a minimum, you're probably going to create a few new friendships. You're going to get to know a little about their business, and most people are going to be have no problem with you coming in and having that conversation with them.
Absolutely.
This is something that you probably should, even if you weren't hosting an event, conversations that would benefit you to have with local businesses.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
event actually gives you an easier in because you have this thing you're doing and this exciting thing they can be a part of. So it almost like helps you from a business owner networking standpoint, because it kind of gives you something to talk about and get in the door with them and do this stuff that business owners need to do, but it's really cool and really fun. And like Yancy said, the worst they can do is say no, but more than likely some will say yes. And there's so much that could come with it, from them attending your event, from people potentially becoming members, from you potentially setting up fitness programs with these businesses. There's a lot of different opportunity that's waiting there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you own this brand. This is your brand when you affiliate. You get to wave this flag from the top. You get to shout it from the rooftops. You get to brand your website. You get to talk about it on your social media channels. You get to paint it on the walls, post the sign out front, have the flag waving out front on game day. All those things, you have that right when you partner with us, and we are going to do everything we can to help promote you and everything that you're doing with DEKA in your area.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Ricardo's Rules for Resilience, the podcast that gives you the tools to withstand and recover from difficulties. Be resilient.
If you're a gym owner ready to get your members excited and your community growing, I want to help you execute. If you are a DEKA affiliate, reach out to me about our 12-week challenge. It's the definitive roadmap for owners to create a smashingly successful event. If you are not an affiliate yet, I can still bring a DEKA event to your gym at no cost to show you the power of this brand firsthand. For either one, email me directly at alton.molinex@spartan.com. Let's get to work and get those leads in the door. See you next Monday. Be resilient.